Welcome to Orange Bowl, California and Pennsylvania. Here's the kick from Blanda. The kick from Blanda is returned 33 yards by Grayson. Play on the tackle. From the Brady drops back to pass. He throws underneath to Simpson. Complete. Brady completes the pass to Simpson. 7-yard gain. Ham on the tackle. 2nd and 3 from the 43. Brady back to pass. He checks down to Simpson. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Simpson. 3rd and 3 from the 43. Brady fades back to pass. Brady throws underneath to Simpson. Caught. Brady to Simpson. 16-yard gain. Schmidt on the tackle. 1st down. Adams is doubled at the line. Brady deep in the pocket. Long slant. He dropped it. Brady throws incomplete to Gonzalez, Byard on the coverage. Brady drops back to pass. Medium fly to Johnson. He dropped it. Brady to Johnson, incomplete, at early on the coverage. 3rd and 10 from the 41. Shotgun formation. Brady fades back to pass. Sacked by Donald. Brady is sacked by Donald, loss of 8. Camarillo to punt. Johnson waiting inside his own 10. A 44-yard punt by Camarillo, out of bounds. Montana calling signals. Montana gives to Kelly. 2-yard run by Kelly, Porter on the tackle. 2nd and 8. Montana fades back to pass. Short out pass to McCoy. Incomplete. Montana passes to McCoy, incomplete. Sia with the coverage. 3rd and 8 from the 7. Someone jumped. Possible 3-play for Montana. Montana drops back to pass. Montana passes to McCoy, complete. Montana completes the pass to McCoy, gain of 10, Sia with the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 17. Montana fades back to pass. Montana throws to McCoy. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to McCoy, Briggs on the coverage. Montana gives to Kelly. Kelly on the sweep, no gain, Wagner on the tackle. 3rd and 10 from the 17. Shotgun. Montana fades back to pass. Medium hitch. Incomplete. Montana with the pass to Marshall, incomplete, Allen on the coverage. Chloe back in punt formation. A 46-yard punt by Chloe, return of 10 by Smith. Brady hands to Cunningham. Cunningham gains 6 on the sweep, Schmidt with the tackle. 2nd and 4. Pitch right to Simpson. Simpson on the carry, gain of 3, Hayward on the tackle. 3rd and 1 at the 44. Simpson takes the handoff. Simpson on the sweep, 6-yard gain, Schmidt on the tackle, 1st down. Movement up front. Possible free play for Brady. Brady is back to pass. Sacked by Ham. Brady is sacked by Ham, loss of flag
on the play. Encroachment. Defense. Number 54, 5-yard penalty.
First and 5 from the 33. Brady hands to Cunningham. Cunningham on the carry, no gain, Schmidt on the tackle. Brady fades back to pass. False. Brady with a 3-yard run, Ham on the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 30. Brady at the line. Brady with a short drop. Short hitch to Simpson. He dropped it. Brady passes to Simpson, incomplete, Buffon on the coverage. 48-yard attempt for Turner. This will give them the lead. Good snap from center. Turner is good from 48 yards, California 3, Pennsylvania 0. Johnson to kick off. The kick from Johnson is returned 47 yards by Morris, Matthews on the tackle. Montana gives to McCoy. With the lane. McCoy with a 15-yard run, Wagner with the tackle, 1st down. Montana at the line. He fades back to pass. Medium fly to Harrison. Incomplete. Montana to Harrison, incomplete. Montana back to pass. Dropped by Glover. Montana is sacked by Glover, lost, penalty flag.
Personal foul. Offense, number 38, 15-yard penalty.
Third and 19 from the 38. From the shotgun. Montana back to pass. Long out pass. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Tucker. Chloe back in punt formation. .38-yard punt by Chloe, touchback. Simpson with the handoff. Simpson on the carry, no gain, White with the tackle. Brady fades back to pass. Medium slant. Complete. Brady passes to Smith, gain of 16, Adderley on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 36. Brady with the give to Simpson. Simpson with a gain of 3 on the play, Hayward on the tackle. 2nd and 7 from the 39. The hand off to Cunningham. Cunningham with a gain of 12 on the play, flag on the play.
Holding. Offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty.
California breaks the huddle. 2nd and 17. Shotgun formation. Brady calls the signals. He fades back to pass. Screen to Gonzalez. Complete. Brady completes the pass to Gonzalez, 9-yard gain, fired on the tackle. 3rd and 8. Brady sets up in the pocket. Medium fly to Johnson. Brady is intercepted by Durham, return of 35. 1st and 10 from the 19. Montana gives to Kelly. Kelly the ball carrier, 3-yard gain, Wagner on the tackle. Montana gives to McCoy. McCoy the ball carrier, gain of 10, Further on the tackle, 1st down. Montana at the line. Give to Kelly. Kelly on the carry, touchdown Pennsylvania, end of the 1st quarter, California 3, Pennsylvania 0. Gould will try the point after. Gould converts the extra point, Pennsylvania 7, California 3. The kick from Blanda. The kick from Blanda is returned 32 yards by Grayson, play on the tackle. Cunningham with the handoff. 10-yard run by Cunningham, plank on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 46. Brady at the line. Pitch left to Simpson. Simpson on the pitch, no gain, Donald on the tackle. 2nd and 10 from the 46. Brady back to pass. Brady throws underneath to complete. Brady completes the pass to Simpson, gain of 7, Buffon on the tackle. 3rd and 3. Brady drops back to pass. He throws underneath to Johnson, complete. Brady completes the pass to Johnson, 5-yard gain, Adderley on the tackle, 1st down. California trailing by 4. Brady back to pass. Medium hitch to Adams. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Adams, Rivas with the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 42. Brady calls out the signals. He sets to throw. Short into Gonzalez. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Gonzalez, fired with the coverage. 3rd and 10 from the 42. Brady in the shotgun. Brady back to pass. Brady throws underneath to Adams. Incomplete. Brady to Adams, incomplete, Rivas on the coverage. Camarillo from punt formation. Johnson waiting inside his own 10. "41-yard punt by Camarillo, out of bounds. Pennsylvania breaks the huddle. 1st and 10 from the 1. Montana at the line. Takes a 5-step drop. Long hitch to Harrison. He dropped it. Montana throws incomplete to Harrison. Sherman on the coverage.
No timeout will be charged.
Busted play. Montana with a gain of 1 on the play. Penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 63, 10-yard penalty.
First and 20 at the 9. Montana calls the signals. Montana gives to McCoy. 5-yard run by McCoy. Polamalu on the tackle. Shotgun formation. Montana at the line. He fades back to pass. Montana dumps it to Harrison. Complete. Montana passes to Harrison. Gain of 6. Sherman on the tackle. 3rd and 9 at the 20. Montana drops back to pass. Medium cross. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Harrison. Chloe back in punt formation. "45-yard punt by Chloe, no return. First and 10 from the 35. Brady with the give to Simpson. With daylight. Simpson on the carry, gain of 17, Byard with the tackle, first down. The handoff to Simpson. 1-yard run by Simpson, Ham on the tackle. California down by 4. Brady sets to throw. Medium cross to Adams. Complete. Brady passes to Adams, gain of 16, Rivas on the tackle, first down. Brady barks out the signals. Brady to throw. He checks down to Simpson, complete. Brady to Simpson, gain of 7, Schmidt with the tackle. Brady calls out the signals. Brady fades back to pass. Brady throws to Cunningham, complete. Brady to Cunningham, gain of 23, Byard with the tackle, first down. California breaks the huddle. California down 4. First and goal from the 1. Stack line. Brady hands to Simpson. Simpson the ball carrier, no gain.
The ruling on the
Buffone with
field
tackle.
stands. The runner was stopped short of the end zone. A timeout will be charged.
Stack line. Brady calling signals. Brady pitches left to Simpson. Simpson on the pitch, no gain, Schmidt on the tackle. 3rd and goal from the 1. Stack line. The handoff to Simpson. Simpson the ball carrier, touchdown California. Turner will try the point after. Turner converts the extra point, California 10, Pennsylvania 7. Here's the kick from Johnson. The kick from Johnson is returned 34 yards by Morris, Matthews on the tackle. Montana gives to McCoy. McCoy on the carry, no gain, Porter on the tackle. 2nd and 10 from the 45. Montana drops back to pass. Pulled down by Wagner. Montana is sacked by Wagner, loss of 9. 3rd and 19 from the 36. 3:01 in the 2nd. Montana in the shotgun. Montana calls the signals. Montana fades back to pass. Long out to Harrison. Incomplete. Montana to Harrison, incomplete, Sherman on the coverage. Chloe from punt formation. 51-yard punt by Chloe, return of 9 by Smith.
Offsides. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
Chloe deep in punt formation. "53-yard punt by Chloe, return of 16 by Ellard. Give to Simpson. Simpson with a gain of 7 on the play, Adderley on the tackle. The handoff to Cunningham. Cunningham with a 3-yard run, Buffon on the tackle. Third and inches. Cunningham with the handoff. Cunningham on the carry, loss of 1, White on the tackle, 2-minute warning. Camarillo to punt. "50-yard punt by Camarillo, 5-yard return by Lawrence. Montana fades back to pass. He checks down to Tucker. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Tucker, Grayson with the coverage. Montana fades back to pass. Dropped by Davidson. Montana is sacked by Davidson, loss of 8. Third and 18 from the 16. Shotgun formation. Montana fades back to pass. He dumps it to McCoy. Complete. Montana completes the pass to McCoy, gain of 3, Briggs on the tackle. Chloe back in punt formation. Fumble. "45-yard punt by Chloe, return of 14 by Ellard, fumble recovered by Evans, Pennsylvania ball. Pennsylvania down 3. First and 10 from the 50. Montana deep in the pocket. Long out pass. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Tucker. Pennsylvania down by 3. Montana from the shotgun. Drops back to pass. Short out to Marshall. He dropped it. Montana passes to Marshall, incomplete, Allen on the coverage. Third and 10. Montana fades back to pass. Short out pass to McCoy. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to McCoy, Briggs on the coverage. Chloe will kick it away. Smith waiting inside his own 10. "35-yard punt by Chloe, out of bounds. California by 3. First and 10 from the 15. 0:51 left in the second. Brady calls out the signals. Brady is back to pass. Brady dumps it to Cunningham, complete. Brady passes to Cunningham, gain of 12, Byard on the tackle, first down. First and 10 from the 27. Cunningham with the handoff. 3-yard gain by Cunningham, Schmidt on the tackle. End of the first half, California 10, Pennsylvania 7. The kick from Johnson. The kick from Johnson is returned 39 yards by Morris. Matthews on the tackle. Montana at the line. Montana gives to Kelly. Kelly with a 7-yard run. Wagner on the tackle. 2nd and 3 from the 45. Montana gives to Kelly. Kelly lost one on the play. Davidson on the tackle. 3rd and 4 at the 46. Montana calls out the signals. Fades back to pass. Short out to Harrison. Complete. Montana completes the pass to Harrison. Gain of 12. Sherman on the tackle. 1st down. The handoff to Kelly. 7-yard run by Kelly. Grayson with the tackle. 2nd and 3. Montana shouting instructions. Kelly with the handoff. 2-yard run by Kelly. Wagner on the tackle. 3rd and 1 at the 25. Montana shovels it to McCoy. McCoy with a gain of 9 on the play. Seau on the tackle. 1st down. Montana hands to Kelly. 4-yard gain by Kelly. Wagner on the tackle. 2nd and 6 from the 12. Montana fades back to pass. Medium into Tucker. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Tucker. Grayson on the coverage. Pennsylvania trailing by 3. 3rd and 6 from the 12. Montana sets up in the pocket. Short hitch. Complete. Montana completes the pass to Tucker. Touchdown Pennsylvania. Gould will try the point after. Gould converts the extra point. Pennsylvania 14, California 10. Here's the kick from Blanda. The kick from Blanda is returned 2 yards by Grayson. Law on the stop. Brady sets up in the pocket. Pass in the flat to Cunningham. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Cunningham. Buffon on the coverage. California breaks the huddle. 2nd and 10. Simpson with the handoff. Simpson lost one on the play. Ham with the tackle. 3rd and 11 from the 6. Brady in the shotgun. Fades back to pass. Long hitch. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Gonzalez. Fired on the coverage. Camarillo to punt. From his own end zone. "52-yard punt by Camarillo, return of 7 by Lawrence. Pennsylvania by 4. 1st and 10 from the 49. Montana at the line. Hand off to Kelly. Kelly on the carry, gain of 1, Briggs on the tackle. 2nd and 9. Montana fades back to pass. Medium slant to Tucker. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Tucker. Polamalu on the coverage. Panthers by 4. 3rd and 9. 8 o'clock in the 3rd. Montana in the shotgun. Harrison is doubled at the line. Doubling Reed at the line. Montana barks out the signals. Montana sets up in the pocket. Screen to McCoy. Complete. Montana to McCoy, gain of 41, Colonelli on the tackle, first down. Montana gives to McCoy. McCoy on the carry, loss of 3, Wagner on the tackle. Second and goal from the 12. Montana with a short drop. Short out. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to McCoy, breaks on the coverage. Third and goal from the 12. Montana sets up in the pocket. Montana passes to Kelly. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Kelly. "30-yard try for Gould. McAfee to hold. Good snap. Gould connects from 30 yards, Pennsylvania 17, California 10. Here's the kick from Blanda. The kick from Blanda is returned 43 yards by Grayson, Browns on the tackle. Reverse to Johnson. Johnson on the carry, no gain, Schmidt on the tackle. California down 7. Second and 10 from the 48. 5:23 in the third. Brady hands to Simpson. 2-yard gain by Simpson, Buffone on the tackle. California down 7. Third and 8 at the 50. Brady with 3-step drop. Short slant to Adams. Complete. Brady to Adams, gain of 8, Rivas with the tackle. 4th and inches. Brady gives to Simpson. Simpson on the carry, 5-yard gain, Byard on the tackle, first down. Hand off to Simpson. Simpson with a gain of 3 on the play, Donald on the tackle. 2nd and 7 from the 34. Brady sets to throw. Short hitch to Adams. Incomplete. Brady throws incomplete to Adams, Rivas on the coverage. 3rd and 7 at the 34. Brady fades back to pass. Screen to Cunningham. He's got it. Brady to Cunningham, gain of 11, Plank on the stop, first down. 1st and 10 at the 23. Cunningham takes the handoff. Cunningham on the carry, gain of 2, Buffone on the tackle. They're looking for Simpson. Brady gives to Cunningham. Cunningham on the carry, gain of 5, Plank on the tackle. 3rd and 3 at the 16. Brady can't handle the snap. Fumble. Brady with the carry, loss of 1, fumble recovered by Brady, California maintains possession. End of the third quarter, Pennsylvania 17, California 10. 35-yard attempt for Turner. Turner missed the 35-yard kick. The give to Kelly. He throws to McCoy. He dropped it. Kelly passes to McCoy, incomplete, CO on the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Montana fades back to pass. Medium slant to Harrison. Complete. Montana completes the pass to Harrison, gain of 15, Sherman with the tackle, first down. Pennsylvanians by 7. Kelly with the handoff. Room to run. Kelly on the carry, gain of 16, Wagner on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 from the 44. The handoff to McCoy. McCoy with a 4-yard run, Seau on the stop. 2nd and 6. Montana barks out the signals. He fades back to pass. Screen to McCoy. Complete. Montana to McCoy, gain of 15, Seau on the tackle, first down. Montana calls out the signals. Kelly takes the handoff. 3-yard gain by Kelly, Briggs on the tackle. Montana fades back to pass. Medium slant to Reed. Incomplete. Montana to Reed, incomplete, Allen on the coverage. Penalty on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 74, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Third and 12 from the 27. Montana in the shotgun. Fades back to pass. Medium slant to Harrison. Incomplete. Montana throws incomplete to Harrison, Sherman on the coverage. 45-yard attempt for Gould. Gould missed from 45 yards. First and 10 at the 35. Cunningham with the handoff. Cunningham on the carry, gain of 8, Schmidt with the tackle. Brady calls out the signals. Hand off to Simpson. Room to run. Simpson with a gain of 11 on the play, Buffon on the tackle, first down. Brady fades back to pass. Short in. He makes the catch. Brady completes the pass to Johnson, gain of 6, Adderley on the stop. Brady fades back to pass. Brady checks down to Cunningham, complete. Brady with the pass to Cunningham, penalty flag.
Personal foul. Defense. Number 55, 15-yard penalty. Automatic, first down.
1st and 10. The handoff to Cunningham. Cunningham on the carry, loss of 1, Klecko on the tackle. Brady fades back to pass. Medium out pass. Incomplete. Brady with the pass to Adams, incomplete, Rivas on the coverage. California trailing by 7. 3rd and 11 from the 17. Shotgun. Brady back to pass. Schmidt pulls him down by the neck. Brady is sacked by Schmidt, loss of 11. "46-yard attempt for Turner. Weddle to hold. The snap from Khalil. Turner missed from 46. Give to McCoy. McCoy on the carry, no gain, man on the tackle. Pennsylvania in no hurry. Montana fades deep. Screen to McCoy. Complete. Montana completes the pass to McCoy, gain of 2, see out on the tackle. 3rd and 8 at the 38. Slow down. Harrison is doubled at the line. Reed is doubled at the line. Tucker is doubled at the line. Montana calls out the signals. Takes a 3-step drop. Short hitch to Harrison. Incomplete. Montana to Harrison, incomplete. Penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 53, 10-yard penalty.
Chloe to punt. "51-yard punt by Chloe, fair catch by Smith. First and 10 from the 11. Brady back to pass. Short hitch to Adams. Complete. Brady passes to Adams, gain of 11, Revis with the tackle, first down. First and 10. California in a hurry up. Brady hands to Simpson. Simpson on the carry, gain of 2, Plank on the tackle. California in a hurry up. Brady pitches left to Simpson. Simpson with the carry, gain of 9, Plank on the tackle, first down. First and 10 from the 33. California in a hurry up. Brady calls out the signals. Brady hands to Simpson. Simpson lost 1 on the play, White on the tackle. Second and 11 at the 32. Hurry up offense. Brady with a quick drop. Fumble. Sacked by Ham. Brady is sacked by Ham, loss of 7, fumble recovered by Matt. California maintains possession. 3rd and 18 from the 25. Hurry up offense. Shotgun formation. Brady back to pass. It's dumped to Ellard. He dropped it. Brady to Ellard, incomplete. Camarillo to punt. "49-yard punt by Camarillo, 7-yard return by Johnson. Panthers by 7. Doubling Harrison at the line. Montana gives to McCoy. McCoy gains 2 on the sweep, Wagner on the tackle. Montana working very slowly. McCoy with the handoff. Has room to run. McCoy with a gain of 15 on the play, Sherman on the tackle, first down. 2-minute warning. McCoy with the handoff. McCoy the ball carrier, gain of 4, Briggs on the tackle. Pennsylvania by 7. 2nd and 6 from the 46. 1:55 left in the game. Kelly takes the handoff. Kelly on the carry, gain of 1, Seau on the stop. 3rd and 5 from the 45. 1:49 left in the 4th. Draw to McCoy. McCoy on the draw, loss of 2, Seau on the tackle. Chloe from punt formation. Ellard standing inside his own 10. "39-yard punt by Chloe, out of bounds. California trailing by 7, The give to Simpson. Simpson on the carry, loss of 1, penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 70.
First and 14 from the 4. The give to Simpson. He dumps it to Ellard. Complete. Simpson to Ellard, gain of 12, Byard with the tackle. Second and 2 at the 16. Simpson with the handoff. 6-yard run by Simpson, Byard on the tackle, first down. They're in a hurry up. Brady from the shotgun. Sets to throw. Long sideline pass. Incomplete. Brady to Ellard, incomplete. Second and 10 from the 22. Brady drops back to pass. Hayward takes him down. Brady is sacked by Hayward, loss of 8. Third and 18 from the 14. Hurry up. Prevent defense. Brady fades back to pass. He throws a high arcing pass. Ellard with the catch at the 38. Brady passes to Ellard, gain of 29, Byard on the tackle, first down. Pennsylvania 17, California 10. Welcome to Orange Bowl. Oklahoma and Virginia. Graham to kick off. The kick from Graham is returned 25 yards by Izuma, Sharper with the tackle. Bradford calls out the signals. Calhoun with the handoff. Calhoun on the carry, gain of 12, Lanier with the tackle, first down. Bradford drops back to pass. Screen to Jacobs. Complete. Bradford to Jacobs, gain of 4, Sharper on the tackle. 2nd and 6 from the 45. Bradford gives to Jacobs. Jacobs the ball carrier, gain of 7, easily on the tackle, first down. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium slant to Welker. Incomplete. Bradford with the pass to Welker, incomplete, Barber on the coverage. Bradford with the give to Calhoun. Calhoun with the carry, gain of 10, Barber on the tackle, first down. Jacobs with the handoff. Jacobs with a gain of 5 on the play, Lanier with the tackle. Jacobs controlling the ball now. 4-yard gain by Jacobs, Brooks on the tackle. 3rd and 1 at the 29. Bradford at the line. Jacobs on the draw. Jacobs gains 1 on the draw, easily on the tackle.
No timeout will be charged.
A 46-yard attempt for Brown. This will give them the lead. Brown connects from 46 yards, Oklahoma 3, Virginia 0. The kick from Brown. The kick from Brown is returned 44 yards by Gray, Banks with the tackle. Tarkenton hands to Johnson. Johnson on the carry, gain of 3, Cotney with the tackle. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Tarkenton passes to Moore. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Moore, Harris on the coverage. 3rd and 7. Tarkenton at the line. Tarkenton is back to pass. Screen to Clark. He dropped it. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Clark. Jet back in punt formation. Welker waiting inside his own 10. A 34-yard punt by Jet, 4-yard return by Welker. Bradford gives to Calhoun. Calhoun with the carry, gain of 5, Taylor on the stop. The give to Calhoun. Calhoun on the carry, loss of 1, Brooks on the tackle. 3rd and 6 from the 23. Some movement up front. Possible free play for Bradford. Bradford drops back to pass. Medium out to Largent. Complete. Bradford to Largent, gain of 13, penalty on the play.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 55, 5-yard penalty.
Bradford with a quick drop. Short into Largent. Complete. Bradford to Largent, gain of 12, Sample on the stop, first down. First and 10 from the 48. Bradford drops back to pass. Bradford will run. 4-yard run by Bradford, Taylor on the tackle. Jacobs with the handoff. Jacobs with a gain of 6 on the play, Lanier on the tackle, first down. Bradford drops back to pass. Bradford dumps it to Jacobs. He dropped it. Bradford to Jacobs, incomplete, Sharper with the coverage. Bradford with a short drop. Short slant to Shockey. He dropped it. Bradford throws incomplete to Shockey, easily with the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 45. Automatic first down.
Oklahoma by 3. Bradford sets to throw. Bradford checks down to Owens. He's got it. Bradford to Owens, gain of 2, Sharper on the tackle. Second and 8. Bradford drops back to pass. Bradford is running with it. 6-yard gain by Bradford, Taylor on the stop. Timeout, Oklahoma. Third and 2 from the 27. Sharper in run support. Current drive, 10 plays, 54 yards. They've used 5:18 on the clock. Bradford hands to Owens. Owens with the carry, gain of 2, Brown on the tackle, first down. Bradford at the line. Current drive, 11 plays, 56 yards. 6:04 off the clock. Calhoun takes the handoff. Calhoun the ball carrier, 6-yard gain, Brown with the tackle. Second and 4 at the 19. Current drive, 12 plays, 62 yards. 6:50 off the clock. Owens takes the handoff. Owens on the carry, gain of 6, Brown with the tackle, first down. Bradford yelling out the signals. 13-play 68-yard drive. 7:34 off the clock. Owens with the handoff. Owens with a gain of 2 on the play, Sharper on the tackle. Second and 8 from the 11. Current drive, 14 plays, 70 yards. 8:14 off the clock. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium slant to Shockey. Incomplete. Bradford to Shockey, incomplete, easily on the coverage. Third and 8 at the 11. Bradford fades back to pass. Bradford throws to Shockey. Complete. Bradford to Shockey, touchdown Oklahoma. Brown J will try the point after. Brown converts the extra point, Oklahoma 10, Virginia 0. Brown to kick off. The kick from Brown is returned 35 yards by Gray, Lofton on the tackle. Virginia breaks the huddle. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Tarkenton passes to Johnson. He dropped it. Tarkenton with the pass to Johnson, incomplete, Gilden on the coverage, end of the first quarter, Oklahoma 10, second and 10 from the 36. Tarkenton at the line. Sets to throw. Medium hitch to Barber. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Barber, Banks on the coverage. Third and 10. Shotgun formation. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Medium into Clark. Complete. Tarkenton completes the pass to Clark, 13-yard gain, Green on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10. Pitch right to Johnson. 4-yard run by Johnson, Gilden on the stop. Tarkenton brings them to the line. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Short pass in the flat to Barber, complete. Tarkenton completes the pass to Barber, gain of 6, Minor on the tackle, first down. Tarkenton calls out the signals. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Screen. Caught by Barber at the 45. Tarkenton passes to Barber, gain of 4, Minor on the tackle. Cotney in the box. Quick toss to Barber. Barber on the carry, gain of 4, Gilden on the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 33. Barber with the ball now. Barber with the carry, no gain, Minor with the tackle. 51-yard try for Graham. The snap from Woody. Graham missed the 51-yard kick. Jacobs with the handoff. Jacobs lost 3 on the play, Lanier on the stop. Oklahoma ahead by 10. Bradford fades back to pass. He dumps it to Calhoun, complete. Bradford passes to Calhoun, gain of 3, springs on the tackle. 3rd and 10. Bradford in the shotgun. He fades back to pass. Medium hitch. Incomplete. Bradford passes to Jacobs, incomplete. Way from punt formation. "51-yard punt by Way, 4-yard return by Gray. Tarkenton is back to pass. Medium cross to Miller. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Miller, Sparks on the coverage. 2nd and 10. Tarkenton with the give to Barber. Barber lost 3 on the play, Hampton on the tackle. 3rd and 13 from the 9. Shotgun formation. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Long button hook. Leaping catch. Tarkenton to Kuhn, gain of 15, penalty on the play.
Personal foul. Defense. Number 33, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Tarkenton back to pass. He passes to Miller. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Miller, Sparks on the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 39. Tarkenton back to pass. Screen to Barber. He makes the catch. Tarkenton passes to Barber, 1-yard gain, Banks on the stop. 3rd and 9 from the 40. Moore faces a double at the line. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Medium curl to Miller. Complete. Tarkenton to Miller, gain of 9, Sparks on the tackle, first down. Tarkenton with a quick drop. Short cross. Caught by Miller at the 43. Tarkenton passes to Miller, Gain, penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 65, 10-yard penalty.
First and 20 from the 39. Tarkenton at the line. Takes a short drop. Short sideline pass to Toon. Complete. Tarkenton completes the pass to Toon. Gain of 7. Green on the tackle. Tarkenton with a quick drop. Short out to Toon. Diving catch. Tarkenton completes the pass to Toon. Gain of 5. Case on the tackle. 3rd and 8 at the 49. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Short into Miller. Incomplete. Tarkenton with the pass to Miller. Incomplete. Sparks on the coverage. Jet deep in punt formation. Welker waiting inside his own 10. "36-yard punt by Jet, out of bounds. Bradford calls out the signals. Hand off to Jacobs. Jacobs with the carry, gain of 8, Smith with the tackle. From the Jacobs with the handoff. Jacobs with a 5-yard run, Lanier on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10. Bradford at the line. Hand off to Jacobs. Jacobs with a 5-yard run, Smith on the tackle. The give to Calhoun. Calhoun lost 1 on the play, Barber on the tackle. 3rd and 6 from the 30. Bradford in the shotgun. Bradford is back to pass. Screen. Caught by Jacobs at the 26. Bradford to Jacobs, gain of 15, Barber on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10. Bradford fades back to pass. Fumble. Dropped by Lanier. Bradford is sacked by Lanier, touchdown Virginia, fumble recovered by Lanier, return for a Virginia touchdown. Graham S. will try the point after. Graham makes the extra point, Oklahoma 10, Virginia 7. Graham boots it. The kick from Graham is returned 25 yards by Izuma, Taylor with the tackle. Bradford gives to Calhoun. Calhoun on the sweep, no gain, Lanier with the tackle, 2-minute warning. 2nd and 10. Bradford is back to pass. Brown brings him down. Bradford is sacked by Brown, loss of 4. 3rd and 14. Shotgun. Prevent defense. Bradford fades back to pass. Long out pass to Dial. Incomplete. Bradford throws incomplete to Dial. Way from punt formation. "48-yard punt by Way, return of 2 by Sample. Tarkenton with a short drop. Short sideline pass to Miller. Incomplete. Tarkenton passes to Miller, incomplete, Sparks on the coverage. Tarkenton back to pass. Medium out to Clark. Complete. Tarkenton to Clark, gain of 6, penalty on the play.
Personal foul. Defense. Number 34, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Virginia breaks the huddle. Tarkenton at the line. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Tarkenton passes to Johnson. Complete. Tarkenton to Johnson, gain of 6, Gilden with the tackle. 2nd and 4. Quick pitch to Barber. Barber the ball carrier, gain of 2, McCoy on the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 41. Hurry up offense. Tarkenton in the shotgun. Someone jumped. Possible free play for Tarkenton. He fades back to pass. Short hitch to Toon. Caught by Toon. Fumble. Tarkenton to Toon, touchdown Oklahoma. Fumble recovered by Green, return for a Oklahoma touchdown. Brown J will try the point after. The kick by Brown is good. Oklahoma 17, Virginia 7. Here's the kick from Brown. The kick from Brown is returned 38 yards by Gray. Banks
Illegal
on the tackle.
block. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
Tarkenton with a hard count. Tarkenton calling signals. Running left. Johnson on the pitch, loss of 4, Gastineau on the tackle. 2nd and 14 from the 27. Hurry up offense. Tarkenton from the shotgun. He fades back to pass. He checks down to Johnson. Complete. Tarkenton completes the pass to Johnson, gain of 3, Sparks on the tackle. Virginia down 10. 3rd and 11 from the 30. 0-27 in the second. Johnson split outside. Tarkenton barks out the signals. Draw to Barber. Barber on the draw, gain of 6, Case on the tackle. Jet from punt formation. "39-yard punt by Jet, return of 3 by Gordon. Bradford running. End of the first half, Oklahoma 17, Virginia 7. Here's the kick from Brown. The kick from Brown is returned 35 yards by Gray, Gilden on the tackle. Tarkenton at the line. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Medium cross to Miller. Complete. Tarkenton with the pass to Miller, 19-yard gain, Sparks on the tackle, first down. The handoff to Johnson. Johnson with the carry, gain of 4, Green on the tackle. 2nd and 6. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Screen to Barber. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Barber, Minert on the coverage. 3rd and 6. Tarkenton calling signals. Tarkenton with a short drop. Short button hook to Toon. Complete. Tarkenton completes the pass to Toon, gain of 9, Sparks on the tackle, first down. Tarkenton fades deep. Screen. Caught by Johnson at the 28. Tarkenton completes the pass to Johnson, gain of 10, Gilden with the tackle. Virginia trailing by 10. 2nd and inches from the 14. The hand off to Johnson. Fumble. Room to run. Johnson on the carry, gain of 11, fumble recovered by Sparks, Oklahoma ball. Bradford hands to Calhoun. Calhoun running room. Calhoun on the carry, gain of 14, Sharper on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10. Bradford gives to Jacobs. Jacobs the ball carrier, gain of 2, Sharper on the tackle. Bradford deep in the pocket. Screen to Calhoun. Incomplete. Bradford throws incomplete to Calhoun, Lanier on the coverage. 3rd and 8 from the 19. Bradford back to pass. Medium slant. Incomplete. Bradford throws incomplete to Shockey, easily on the coverage. Way back in punt formation. "51-yard punt by Way, fair catch by Sample." Tarkenton drops back to pass. He passes to Barber. Incomplete. Tarkenton to Barber, incomplete, Banks on the coverage. Virginians trailing by 10. Tarkenton at the line. He fades back to pass. Tarkenton passes to Moore. Complete. Tarkenton with the pass to Moore, gain of 10, Harris on the tackle. 3rd and inches from the 40. Barber with the hand off. 1-yard gain by Barber, Green on the tackle, first down. Tarkenton calls out the signals. Fades back to pass. Tarkenton dumps it to Barber, complete. Tarkenton to Barber, gain of 4, Banks on the tackle. Tarkenton calling the signals. He fades back to pass. Medium outside pass to Miller. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Miller, Sparks on the coverage. 3rd and 6 at the 45. Tarkenton at the line. Back to pass. Medium slant. Complete. Tarkenton completes the pass to Clark, gain of 10, Green on the tackle, first down. Tarkenton calls out the signals. The hand off to Barber. Has an opening. Barber with the carry, 31-yard gain, Cotney on the tackle, first down. Cavaliers down 10. Tarkenton gives to Johnson. Johnson on the carry, gain of 7, Gilden with the tackle. Cotney in the box. Tarkenton gives to Johnson. Johnson on the carry, gain of 2, Minert on the tackle. 3rd and 1 at the 5. Some confusion on the defense. Oklahoma stacked the line. The hand off to Barber. Timeout, Oklahoma. Virginia down 10. Johnson takes the handoff. Johnson on the carry, touchdown Virginia. Graham S. will try the point after. The kick by Graham is good. Oklahoma 17, Virginia 14. Graham with the kick. The kick from Graham is returned 26 yards by Izuma.
Illegal
on
block.
the tackle.
Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
First and 10. Bradford calls out the signals. Fades back to pass. He checks down to Calhoun. He dropped it. Bradford throws incomplete to Calhoun. Lanier with the coverage. The give to Jacobs. Jacobs with a gain of 7 on the play. Lanier on the stop. 3rd and 3. Bradford fades back to pass. Bradford checks down to Jacobs. Incomplete. Bradford to Jacobs. Incomplete. Penalty flag.
Offsetting penalties. Repeat, 3rd down.
3rd and 3. The handoff to Jacobs. Jacobs on the carry. Gain of 2. Flag on the field.
Holding. Offense. Number 79.
Way back in punt formation. "54-yard punt by Way. Fair catch by Sample. Tarkenton hands to Johnson. 6-yard gain by Johnson. Green on the tackle. 2nd and 4 from the 33. Barber with the ball now. Barber the ball carrier. Gain of 4. Minard with the tackle. 1st down. Tarkenton pitches right to Barber. 2-yard run by Barber. Hampton on the tackle. Virginia trailing by 3. 2nd and 8 from the 39. Tarkenton gives to Johnson. Johnson on the carry. No gain. Minard on the tackle. End of the 3rd quarter. Oklahoma 17, Virginia 14. 3rd and 8 from the 39. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Screen to Barber. Complete. Tarkenton to Barber. Gain of 8. Minard on the tackle.
The ruling on the field stands. A timeout will be charged.
Jet back to punt. Welker waiting inside his own 10. "36-yard punt by Jet. 3-yard return by Welker. Bradford gives to Jacobs. Jacobs on the carry. No gain. Brown on the tackle. Oklahoma breaks the huddle. 2nd and 10 from the 20. Bradford sets to throw. Pass in the flat to Jacobs. Complete. Bradford completes the pass to Jacobs. Gain of 11. Sharper with the tackle. 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 31. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium fly to Welker. Complete. Bradford completes the pass to Welker. Gain of 8. Barber on the tackle. Sharper in the box. Bradford at the line. Bradford fades back to pass. Bradford checks down to Jacobs. Incomplete. Bradford throws incomplete to Jacobs. Sharper with the coverage. 3rd and 2 from the 39. Bradford gives to Jacobs. Jacobs on the sweep. Gain of 6. Lanier on the tackle. 1st down. Bradford pitches left to Calhoun. Calhoun gains 8 on the pitch, Lanier on the stop. 2nd and 2. Jacobs with the transfer. Jacobs with the carry, gain of 14, Lanier on the tackle, 1st down. Bradford calling signals. Hand off to Jacobs. Jacobs with a gain of 14 on the play, Sharper on the tackle, 1st down. Owens with the handoff. Owens gets to the 2nd level. Owens with the carry, gain of 11, Lanier on the tackle, 1st down. Oklahoma ahead by 3. 1st and goal from the 8. 9-play 72-yard drive. 5:43 off the clock. Owens takes the handoff. Owens on the carry, 6-yard gain, Smith on the stop. Virginia stacked the line. Bradford hands to Jacobs. Jacobs on the carry, touchdown Oklahoma. Brown J will try the point after. The kick by Brown is good, Oklahoma 24, Virginia 14. Here's the kick from Brown. The kick from Brown is returned 42 yards by Gray, Gilden on the tackle. Penalty on the play.
False start. Offense, number 88, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
First and 15 from the 43. The handoff to Barber. Barber on the carry, gain of 1, Casillas on the tackle. 2nd and 14 at the 44. Virginia in a hurry up. Tarkenton in the shotgun. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Medium out. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Barber, Banks on the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense, number 56, 5-yard penalty. Automatic, 1st down.
Tarkenton fades back to pass. Casillas takes him down. Tarkenton is sacked by Casillas, loss of 5. Hurry up. Tarkenton going through the signals now. Fades back to pass. Screen. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Barber. Third and 15 from the 44. Barber split outside. Tarkenton fades back to pass. False. With taillight. Tarkenton on the carry, gain of 15.
No timeout will be charged.
4th and inches from the 41. Virginia in a hurry up. Quick hand off to Barber. Barber the ball carrier, gain of 2, Hampton on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10. Virginia hustling to the line. Tarkenton back to pass. He passes to Toon. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Toon, Sparks with the coverage. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Screen to Barber. Complete. Tarkenton to Barber, gain of 16, Cotley on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10. Virginia in a hurry up. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Medium into Clark. Complete. Tarkenton to Clark, gain of 13, Green on the tackle, First down. First and goal at the 10. Hurry up offense. Tarkenton barks out the signals. 9-play 47-yard drive. 2:18 off the clock. Tarkenton back to pass. Tarkenton throws to Barber. He's got it. Tarkenton passes to Barber. Touchdown Virginia. Graham S. will try the point after. Graham converts the extra point. Oklahoma 24, Virginia 21. Here's the kick from Graham. The kick from Graham is returned 28 yards by Izuma. Taylor on the tackle. Bradford hands to Jacobs. Jacobs with the 9-yard run. Lanier on the tackle. Bradford working very slowly. The handoff to Jacobs. Jacobs gains 8 on the sweep. Penalty on the play.
Offsides. Defense. Number 94, 5-yard penalty.
Oklahoma up 3. First and 10 from the 47. 3:52 to go in the fourth. Welker faces a double at the line. Largent is doubled at the line. Jacobs with the handoff. Jacobs on the carry. 4-yard gain. Penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 80, 10-yard penalty.
Bradford calling signals. Calhoun with the handoff. Calhoun with a gain of 5 on the play. Lanier on the tackle. Bradford slow to the line. Shotgun. Bradford fades back to pass. Medium fly. Incomplete. Bradford with the pass to Shockey. Incomplete. Easily on the coverage. 3rd and 15 at the 48. Draw to Jacobs. Jacobs with a gain of 2 on the play. Sharper on the tackle. Way from punt formation. Gray waiting inside his own 10. "38-yard punt by Way, out of bounds. First and 10 from the 12. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Medium out to Toon. Incomplete. Tarkenton throws incomplete to Toon. Sparks on the coverage. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Tarkenton dumps it to Toon. Complete. Tarkenton passes to Toon. Gain of 1. Sparks on the tackle. Virginia needs a big play here. 3rd and 9 at the 13. Shotgun formation. Doubling Moore at the line. Toon is doubled at the line. Clark is doubled at the line. Doubling Randall at the line. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Short slant to Toon. Complete. Tarkenton to Toon. 4-yard gain. Sparks with the tackle. 4th and 5 from the 17. Virginia in a hurry up. Tarkenton fades back to pass. Short into Toon. Complete. Tarkenton completes the pass to Toon. Gain of 4. Sparks on the tackle. Shotgun formation. Bradford drops back to pass. Long slant. Incomplete. Bradford throws incomplete to Largent. Sample on the coverage. 2-minute warning. 2nd and 10. Bradford is back to pass. He checks down to Jacobs. Complete. Bradford completes the pass to Jacobs, gain of 3, Sharper on the tackle. Oklahoma up 3. 3rd and 7 from the 18. Slow down offense. Bradford is back to pass. Sacked by Taylor. Bradford is sacked by Taylor, loss of 4. "40-yard attempt for Brown. Good snap from Mendenhall. Brown is good from 40 yards, Oklahoma 27, Virginia 21. Brown with the kick. Squib kick. The kick from Brown is returned 9 yards by Brown, Banks on the tackle. Virginia trailing by 6. Shotgun. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Tarkenton is off and running. With the lane. Tarkenton on the carry, penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 21, 10-yard penalty.
Virginia down by 6. Shotgun formation. Tarkenton back to pass. Long out. Caught by Randall at the 45. Tarkenton passes to Randall, gain of 27, Case with the tackle, first down. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Short sideline pass to Moore. Incomplete. Tarkenton to Moore, incomplete, Harris on the coverage. 2nd and 10. Tarkenton drops back to pass. Short cross to Randall. Complete. Tarkenton to Randall, gain of 10, Case on the tackle, first down. Hurry up offense. Tarkenton calls out the signals. Fades back to pass. Medium out. Incomplete. Tarkenton passes to Randall, incomplete, Case on the coverage. 2nd and 10 at the 32. 0:21 left in the game. Tarkenton calling signals. Sets to throw. Screen to Barber. Complete. Tarkenton with the pass to Barber, 16-yard gain, Banks on the tackle, first down. Virginia hustling to the line. Tarkenton back to pass. Long out pass to Moore. Complete. Tarkenton to Moore, touchdown Virginia, Oklahoma 27, Virginia 21. Graham S. will try the point after. Graham makes the extra point, Virginia 28, Oklahoma 27. Welcome to Orange Bowl. Alabama against Carolina. The kick from Suckup. The kick from Suckup is returned 30 yards by Duncan. Timmons on the tackle. 1st and 10 from the 32. Rivers hands to Jackson. Jackson with the carry, gain of 2, Perry with the tackle. 2nd and 8 from the 34. Rivers at the line. Rivers drops back to pass. Medium in. Caught by Owens at the 49. Rivers to Owens, gain of 17, Gilmore on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 49. Rivers fades back to pass. Short hitch to Nathan. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Nathan, Shell on the coverage. Rivers drops back to pass. Rivers passes to Jones. He's got it. Rivers passes to Jones, 11-yard gain, Shell on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10. Hand off to Nathan. Nathan lost 1 on the play, Bell on the tackle. Rivers fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Newsome. Incomplete. Rivers to Newsome, incomplete, Scott with the coverage. 3rd and 11 from the 39. Rivers from the shotgun. Drops back to pass. Medium fly to Owens. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Owens, Gilmore on the coverage. Beverly back in punt formation. "39-yard punt by Beverly, touchback." Jurgensen hands to Davis. Davis on the sweep, 2-yard gain, Tolbert on the tackle. 2nd and 8 from the 22. The hand off to Davis. 3-yard run by Davis, Tolbert with the tackle. 3rd and 5 from the 25. Jurgensen glides back to pass. Tolbert brings him down. Jurgensen is sacked by Tolbert, loss of 3. Lee deep in punt formation. "52-yard punt by Lee, fair catch by Duncan." Jackson with the handoff. Jackson on the carry, gain of 3, Seymour on the tackle. 2nd and 7. Rivers with a 7-step drop. Screen to Nathan, complete. Rivers completes the pass to Nathan, 15-yard gain, Hamburger on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 44. Draw to Nathan. Nathan lost 1 on the play, flag on the play.
Offsides. Defense. Number 24. 5-yard penalty.
First and 5. Rivers with a 3-step drop. Short slant to Newsome. Complete. Rivers passes to Newsome, gain of 11, Scott on the tackle, 1st down. Rivers barks out the signals. Rivers shovels it to Jackson. 4-yard run by Jackson, Shell on the tackle. 2nd and 6 from the 36. Rivers drops back to pass. Rivers throws underneath to Jackson, incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Jackson, Bell on the coverage. 3rd and 6 from the 36. Rivers fades back to pass. He passes to Nathan, complete. Rivers to Nathan, gain of 4, Shell on the tackle. 50-yard field goal for Ray. This will give them the lead. The snap from Gray. Ray missed from 50. First and 10. Jurgensen barks out the signals. Davis with the handoff. Davis with daylight. 17-yard gain by David. Penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 78, 10-yard penalty.
Jurgensen drops back to pass. Long cross to hold. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to hold, Dixon on the coverage. Shotgun. Jurgensen is back to pass. Long hitch. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Hopkins, Humphrey on the coverage. 3rd and 20. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium slant to Clark. Incomplete. Jurgensen to Clark, incomplete. Lee deep in punt formation. "47-yard punt by Lee, fair catch by Cribbs. Quick toss to Jackson. 6-yard run by Jackson, Perry on the tackle. 2nd and 4 from the 29. Quick toss to Jackson. Jackson on the carry, no gain, Seymour on the tackle. Alabama breaks the huddle. 3rd and 4. Rivers calling signals. Jackson on the draw. Jackson with an 8-yard run, Bell on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 at the 37. Rivers with the handoff to Nathan. Nathan with a 4-yard run, Perry on the tackle. 2nd and 6 at the 41. Takes a 5-step drop. Eller brings him down. Rivers is sacked by Eller, loss of 10. 3rd and 16. Shotgun. Rivers fades back to pass. Medium fly to Phillips. Complete. Rivers to Phillips, 11-yard gain, Wilson on the tackle. Beverly back in punt formation. "49-yard punt by Beverly, 2-yard return by Morgan. Jurgensen pitches left to Davis. 7-yard gain by Davis, Dansby on the stop. End of the first quarter, Alabama 0, Carolina 0. Jurgensen drops back to pass. Short slant. Complete. Jurgensen completes the pass to Hopkins, gain of 8, Humphrey with the tackle, first down. Davis with the handoff. Wide open field. 44-yard gain by Davis. Hopkins on the tackle. First down. Jurgensen at the line. Jurgensen hands to Davis. Davis lost one on the play. Rhodes on the tackle. Jurgensen drops back to pass. Jurgensen dumps it to Hopkins. Complete. Jurgensen passes to Hopkins. Gain of 5. Humphrey on the stop. 3rd and 6 from the 26. Jurgensen with 3-step drop. Short slant to Graham. Complete. Jurgensen completes the pass to Graham. 11-yard gain. Hopkins on the stop. First down. Hand off to Davis. Davis the ball carrier. Loss of 1. Butts on the tackle. Davis with the ball now. 1-yard run by Davis. Vaughan on the tackle. 3rd and 10 from the 15. Shotgun. Jurgensen takes a deep drop. Jurgensen throws to Clark. Incomplete. Jurgensen to Clark. Incomplete. Harper with the coverage. 33-yard field goal for Suckup. This will give them the lead. Clean snap from Matthews. Suckup made the 33-yard field goal. Carolina 3, Alabama 0. Here's the kick from Suckup. Fumble. The kick from Suckup is returned 31 yards by Duncan. Fumble recovered by Shaw. Carolina ball. Jurgensen with the give to Davis. Davis the ball carrier. Penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 10. 10-yard penalty.
Jurgensen to throw. Jurgensen throws to Davis. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Davis. Brazil on the coverage. 2nd and 20. Jurgensen in the shotgun. Drops back to pass. Long slant to Hopkins. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Hopkins. Humphrey on the coverage. 3rd and 20 from the 45. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Long outside pass. Incomplete. Jurgensen passes to Clark. Incomplete. Harper on
Pass
the coverage.
interference. Defense. Number 41. Automatic. First down.
The give to Davis. Davis with a 2-yard run. Dansby with the tackle. Jurgensen barks out the signals. Takes a 5-step drop. Medium into hold. Leaping catch. Jurgensen completes the pass to hold. Gain of 15. Dixon with the tackle. First down. 1st and 10 from the 12. 7:48 left in the second. Davis with the handoff. Davis with a gain of 6 on the play. Dansby on the tackle. Davis with the handoff. Davis lost 1 on the play. Dansby on the tackle. 3rd and 5 at the 7. Jurgensen calls out the signals. He fades back to pass. Short hitch. Incomplete. Jurgensen to hold. Incomplete. Dixon on the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 29. Automatic. First down.
1st and goal from the 1. Goal line defense. Jurgensen hands to Morris. Morris on the carry. Touchdown Carolina. Suckup will try the point after. The kick by Suckup is good. Carolina 10, Alabama 0.
Offsides. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
The kick from Suckup is downed by Duncan. First and 10. 6:07 in the second. Rivers fades back to pass. Brought down by Hamburger. Rivers is sacked by Hamburger, loss of 9. Second and 19 at the 26. Shotgun. Rivers sets up in the pocket. Rivers throws to Jackson, complete. Rivers completes the pass to Jackson, gain of 3, Bell on the tackle. Third and 16. Jackson in the slot. Rivers fades back to pass. Medium slant. Caught by Newsome for a first down. Rivers to Newsome, gain of 18, Scott with the tackle, first down. Give to Nathan. Nathan the ball carrier, gain of 2, Eller on the tackle. Mix up in the backfield. Rivers on the carry, loss of 2, Eller on the tackle. Third and 10 at the 47. Jackson split out wide. They're in a hurry up. Rivers back to pass. Rivers dumps it to Owens. Incomplete. Rivers with the pass to Owens, incomplete, Gilmore on the coverage. Beverly deep in punt formation. Medjet standing inside his own 10. "44-yard punt by Beverly, return of -2 by Medjet. Davis takes the handoff. Davis on the carry, gain of 4, Hopkins with the tackle. Second and 6. Jurgensen drops back to pass. Screen to Davis. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Davis, Brazile on the coverage. Carolina leads by 10. Third and 6 from the 11. 2:04 in the second. Shotgun formation. Jurgensen back to pass. Jurgensen dumps it to Davis. Incomplete. Jurgensen to Davis, incomplete, Brazile with the coverage. Lee deep in punt formation. Standing in the end zone. "54-yard punt by Lee, fair catch by Duncan, 2-minute warning. Trips left. Quarterback draw. Rivers gains 6 on the draw, Brown on the tackle. The handoff to Jackson. Jackson on the carry, gain of 4, Peppers on the tackle, first down. Rivers with a hard count. Rivers at the line. Slips it to Nathan. Nathan with a gain of 2 on the play, Johnson on the tackle. Second and 8. Draw to Jackson. 8-yard gain by Jackson, Scott on the tackle, first down. First and 10. Rivers with a hard count. Alabama hustling to the line. Rivers sets up in the pocket. He throws underneath to Jones. Complete. Rivers completes the pass to Jones, gain of 3, Brown on the stop. Flag on the field.
False start. Offense. Number 82, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Second and 12. Rivers using a hard count. Rivers fades back to pass. Rivers dumps it to Jackson. Incomplete. Rivers to Jackson, incomplete. Hamburger on the coverage. Third and 12 from the 47. Rivers with a hard count. Jackson split outside. Rivers drops back to pass. Short out to Phillips. Complete. Rivers to Phillips, gain of 7, Wilson on the stop. Beverly back in punt formation. Morgan standing inside his own 10. "40-yard punt by Beverly, touchback." Jurgensen at the line. Jurgensen sets to throw. Short hitch to Davis. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Davis, Brazil on the coverage. Carolina by 10. Second and 10 from the 20. 0:43 in the second. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium cross to Hopkins. Complete. Jurgensen completes the pass to Hopkins, 11-yard gain, Humphrey on the tackle, first down. The handoff to Davis. Davis gains 7 on the sweep, Bowen with the tackle. Jurgensen at the line. Davis with the ball now. Wide open field. Davis on the sweep, 16-yard gain, Dixon with the tackle, first down. Carolinans ahead by 10. Jurgensen drops back to pass. Screen to Davis. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Davis, Brazil on the coverage. Carolina breaks the huddle. Second and 10 from the 46. Jurgensen in the shotgun. Jurgensen fades back to pass. He airs it out. Incomplete. Jurgensen throws incomplete to Holt, Dixon on the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 29. Automatic. First down.
Suckup will try from 22 yards. Lee to hold. Easy kick here. Good snap from center. Suckup made the 22-yard field goal, Carolina 13, Alabama 0. Here's the kick from Suckup. Squib kick. The kick from Suckup is returned 15 yards by Anderson, Kirkland on the stop. Here's the kick from Ray. The kick from Ray is returned 35 yards by Medjet, Ray on the tackle. Carolina breaks the huddle. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Jurgensen throws to Coates. Coates with the catch at the 49. Jurgensen completes the pass to Coates, gain of 12, Hopkins on the tackle, first down. Hand off to Davis. Davis on the carry, gain of 5, Tuck on the tackle. Davis with the handoff. Davis running room. 11-yard gain by Davis. 9 feet with the tackle. First down. Jurgensen calls the signals. Fades back to pass. Jurgensen dumps it to Coates. Incomplete. Jurgensen passes to Coates. Incomplete. Hopkins on the coverage. 2nd and 10 at the 25. Jurgensen at the line. The handoff to Davis. Davis the ball carrier. Gain of 7. Rhodes on the tackle. 3rd and 3. Jurgensen back to pass. It's dumped to Hopkins. Incomplete. Jurgensen to Hopkins. Incomplete. Humphrey on the coverage. 36-yard try for Suckup. Good snap from center. Suckup is good from 36 yards. Carolina 16, Alabama 0. Suckup boots it. The kick from Suckup is returned 29 yards by Duncan.
Holding.
Kirkland on the tackle.
Receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
First and 10 from the 13. Rivers back to pass. Medium hitch. Caught by Phillips for a first down. Rivers to Phillips, gain of 18. Wilson on the tackle, first down. Alabama trailing by 16. Rivers at the line. Fades back to pass. He throws to Jackson. Incomplete. Rivers with the pass to Jackson, incomplete. Bell on the coverage. 2nd and 10 at the 31. Rivers calls the signals. Drops back to pass. Medium hitch to Phillips. Complete. Rivers with the pass to Phillips, gain of 16. Wilson with the tackle, first down. Alabama trailing by 16. Rivers with the give to Nathan. Fumble. Nathan on the carry, gain of 4. Fumble recovered by Wilson. Carolina ball. Jurgensen calls out the signals. Hand off to Davis. Davis the ball carrier, 2-yard gain, Tuck with the tackle. The hand off to Davis. Davis with a gain of 7 on the play, Dansby on the tackle. 3rd and 1 from the 42. Jurgensen shovels it to Davis. Davis gets to the second level. Davis on the carry, gain of 14, Vaughn on the tackle, first down. Jurgensen hands to Davis. Davis the ball carrier, gain of 1, Vaughn on the stop. 2nd and 9. Jurgensen hollers out the signals. Running right. Davis on the carry, no gain, Vaughn on the tackle. 3rd and 9 from the 27. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium slant. Complete. Jurgensen completes the pass to Hopkins, 13-yard gain, Rhodes on the tackle, first down. Jurgensen gives to Davis. Wide open field. Davis on the carry, gain of 13, Dixon on the tackle, first down. Hurricanes by 16. Goal line defense. Jurgensen hands to Davis. Davis lost 1 on the play, Dansby on the tackle. Carolina by 16. 2nd and goal. The hand off to Parker. Parker on the carry, touchdown Carolina.
Ruling on the field, stands.
Suckup will try the point after. Suckup converts the extra point, Carolina 23, Alabama 0. Suckup to kick off. Fumble. The kick from Suckup is returned 33 yards by Duncan, fumble recovered by Anderson, Alabama ball. 1st and 10. And off to Jackson. Jackson with a gain of 5 on the play, Johnson on the tackle. 2nd and 5. Give to Jackson. Jackson on the carry, 4-yard gain, Hamburger on the tackle. 3rd and 1. Rivers at the line. And off to Jackson. Jackson the ball carrier, 2-yard gain, Peppers on the tackle, 1st down. Rivers fades back to pass. Short slant to Owens. Complete. Rivers completes the pass to Owens, gain of 24, Shell on the stop, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 25. Jackson with the handoff. Jackson gets to the 2nd level. Jackson on the carry, touchdown Alabama. Ray will try the point after. Ray converts the extra point, Carolina 23, Alabama 7. Here's the kick from Ray. Fumble. The kick from Ray is returned 27 yards by Medja, fumble recovered by Wilkerson, Carolina ball. Carolina by 16. Parker takes the handoff. Parker with the carry, gain of 5, Rhodes on the tackle. The give to Parker. 1-yard gain by Parker, Tolbert on the tackle. End of the 3rd quarter, Carolina 23, Alabama 7. 3rd and 4 from the 45. Jurgensen takes a deep drop. Short out pass. Complete. Jurgensen completes the pass to Graham, 7-yard gain, Rhodes on the tackle, 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 48. Carolina in no hurry. Jurgensen at the line. And off to Davis. 4-yard run by Davis, Tolbert with the tackle. Carolina ahead by 16. 2nd and 6 from the 44. Carolina taking their time. Jurgensen to throw. Medium in to hold. Complete. Jurgensen to hold, gain of 15, Dixon on the tackle, 1st down. Carolina ahead by 16. Jurgensen working very slowly. Jurgensen at the line. Davis takes the handoff. Davis with the carry, gain of 2, Tuck on the tackle. Slow down offense. Jurgensen barks out the signals. Jurgensen pitches left to Davis. Davis on the carry, no gain, Tuck on the tackle. 3rd and 8 from the 27. Jurgensen working very slowly. Draw to Davis. 2-yard run by Davis, Hopkins on the tackle.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
A 48-yard attempt for Suckup. Suckup missed from 48 yards. First and 10. Rivers sets to throw. Short hitch to Young. He's got it. Rivers completes the pass to Young, gain of 8, Scott on the tackle. Second and 2. Rivers sets up in the pocket. Medium hitch. Complete. Rivers to Kochari, 30-yard gain, Wilson on the tackle, first down. Alabama hustling to the line. Give to Young. Young with a 2-yard run, Eller with the tackle. Hurry up offense. Rivers fades deep. Screen to Young. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Young, Scott with the coverage. Third and 8. Shotgun formation. Rivers fades back to pass. Screen to Young. He's got it. Rivers completes the pass to Young, gain of 6, Bell on the tackle.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
.39-yard attempt for Ray. Ray missed from 39. First and 10. Jurgensen fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Davis. He's got it. Jurgensen completes the pass to Davis, gain of 7, Brazil on the tackle. Slow down. Jurgensen gives to Parker. Parker gets to the second level. Parker on the sweep, gain of 10, Vaughn on the tackle, first down. Slow down offense. Davis with the handoff. Davis the ball carrier, gain of 2, Tolbert on the tackle. They're taking their time. Jurgensen gives to Davis. Davis on the carry, gain of 3, Vaughn with the tackle. Third and 5 from the 49. Jurgensen working very slowly. Davis with the handoff. Davis with a 3-yard run, Brazil on the tackle. Lee from punt formation. Duncan waiting inside his own 10. .41-yard punt by Lee, out of bounds. Rivers in the shotgun. Rivers drops back to pass. Wilson brings him down. Rivers is sacked by Wilson, loss of 5, safety. Beverly from punt formation. .61-yard punt by Beverly, returned for a touchdown by Morgan. Suckup will try the point after. Suckup makes the extra point, Carolina 32, Alabama 7. Suckup puts it. The kick from Suckup is returned 35 yards by Duncan, Carson on the tackle. Alabama trailing by 25. Rivers from the shotgun. Back to pass. Medium sideline pass to Kochari. He makes the catch. Rivers passes to Kochari, gain of 12, Wilson with the tackle, first down. Rivers to throw. He dumps it to Phillips. He's got it. Rivers to Phillips, gain of 5, Jeter on the stop. 2nd and 5 from the 45. Rivers sets to throw. Long outside pass to Jones. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Jones, Brown on the coverage. 3rd and 5 from the 45. Rivers fades back to pass. Short sideline pass to Young, complete. Rivers completes the pass to Young. Penalty on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 71, 10-yard penalty.
Third and 15 from the 45. Rivers fades back to pass. Medium out pass to Jones. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Jones, Brown on the coverage. Alabama trailing by 25. 4th and 15 from the 45. 3:21 left in the game. Rivers drops back to pass. Rivers dumps it to Jones. Complete. Rivers to Jones, gain of 7, Brown on the tackle. Is feeling good. Jurgensen gives to Davis. Davis with a 1-yard run, Rhodes on the tackle. Slow down offense. Jurgensen hands to Davis. 1-yard gain by Davis, Rhodes on the tackle. 2-minute warning. Third and 8 from the 50. Davis with the handoff. Davis on the carry, 4-yard gain, Brazil on the stop. Lee deep in punt formation. Duncan waiting inside his own 10. .38-yard punt by Lee, out of bounds. Shotgun. Rivers fades back to pass. Screen to Young. Complete. Rivers to Young, 12-yard gain, Tatum on the tackle, first down. Alabama trailing by 25. Rivers fades back to pass. False. Rivers with a gain of 7 on the play, Shell on the tackle. Second and 3 from the 27. 1:17 in the 4th. Rivers calls the signals. Drops back to pass. Screen to Young. Incomplete. Rivers passes to Young, incomplete, Thompson on the coverage. 3rd and 3 from the 27. Rivers fades back to pass. Screen to Young. Incomplete. Rivers throws incomplete to Young, Tatum on the coverage. Beverly deep in punt formation. .47-yard punt by Beverly, return of 4 by Morgan. Jurgensen will take a knee. Jurgensen will go to a knee. Carolina 32, Alabama 7.